Hey folks, welcome back. Everyday people rarely have a chance to talk about what matters to them on a national platform the way that stars do. So when you get the eyes and ears of countless fans, how do you use that power for good? We're talking about that today with Elise Neal, one of the stars of the new TV One sitcom Bells, hailing from Memphis. Don't act all Memphis up in here, okay? All right, Boris Kodjoe, star of The Real Husbands of Hollywood on BET. Hey, BET, I'm not afraid to say y'all name on TV One. It's all good. And Tatyana Ali, star of the second Generation Wayans, also on BET. Again, you know how some folks get there and say, oh, my God, you know, Black Network can't say it. Look, we both Black networks. Calm down. Plus, they're my folks, so that's how we do it. All right, let's talk about this because it's very interesting. I get personally offended when I look at mainstream cable networks and other news networks, and whenever Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie or George Clooney do something, I mean, the cameras flock there, and I'm always saying, you know, there are black folks who've been doing stuff when it comes to children, the homeless, Haiti, Africa, for years, and simply don't get the same level of tension. Have you also seen that? Does it also bother you not having that ability to say, wait a minute, we're kind of doing some stuff too for our people that should deserve some attention?
Yeah, obviously. I think it's the nature of media. There's so many people in our communities that do so many beautiful things without anybody ever talking about it. Teachers, you know, a lot of churches do great things. And then obviously you're talking about the platform that people like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have, that requires them to also display some kind of responsibility in terms of what they need to give back.
And I'm not hating on what they do. I just have a problem when it is as if they're the only folks, because you look at what Don Cheadle does when it comes to Rwanda, with Jeffrey Wright. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, what he's doing in Sierra Leone. I always say, I'm sorry, those stories are also important and should be told.
They are, and I think the remedy for that is Twitter. It's Instagram. It's all of the social media.
It's Washington Watch.
It's Washington Watch. It's all of the social media where you know, celebrities of color can actually talk to their fans one-on-one and let them know what's happening and what's going on. And if you're talking about social change and really making social change, then it's not necessarily about national media. It's really about the people who actually care and who are actually going to do something about it. When you do tweet, you know, they'll actually donate. It would help. I mean, national media would help.
Oh, it always helps.
But the work that's being done is not for the media's sake, and it still is being done, and it's still being effective.
Do you think about the folks who came before, the Paul Robesons of the world, the Harry Belafontes of the world, in terms of their impact? Because Harry Belafonte, we talked to him also, and he said, I actually was an activist who became an entertainer versus an entertainer who became an activist.
Well, you and I have had this discussion about the fact that African Americans don't get the hoopla that the Angelinas and the Brad Pitts of the world, and actually because of you and because of this show, everything that I've been able to do with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital for the last 2 years was because of me being vocal about the fact that being from Memphis, I wanted to be a part of it. We've discussed this. And, you know,
Elise was on the show and she said, man, I want to do some stuff. Don't nobody call her sister. Then all of a sudden they watch it.
I got a personal letter from St. Jude's, and that's why now I'm a St. Jude's ambassador.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, your show does a lot of good, and I appreciate that, and I applaud you for that. But I hate to say it, you want the bigger platform. We all want the big. That becomes more money for the charity, more money for your cause when everyone gets on board. Not just the social media, not just the Twitter, not just the Facebook. If they acknowledge the great work that we as African Americans do for the full community and for whatever charities and things that we support, that would definitely help our cause and their cause as well.
Now, for you at St. Jude, so for Boris, what's your one thing, the thing that you really care about?
Well, our mission, Nicole and Nicole's and my mission, is the Sophie's Voice Foundation. We founded that 4 years ago in honor of Sophie, our daughter.
You say we?
We, Nicole and I.
Okay.
Yes, in honor of...
Folks at home, Nicole Ari Parker, his wife. I'm just saying, Boris, I want you to be on the couch. Get a wife a shout out. I was trying to...
I opened my statement with my wife's name. I said, Nicole and I founded Sophie's Voice 4 years ago.
Now you got to say more than that. You got to say that's my
Nicole,
wife,
my beautiful, talented wife.
Boom, there you go.
Nicole Ari Parker, my famous, beautiful, sexy, talented wife.
Boom.
There you go. No couch for Boris.
And I founded Sophie's Voice Foundation 4 years ago in honor of Sophie, our daughter, who was born with spina bifida, which is a neural tube defect that affects about 8 babies a year. And it's actually in the top 10 list of most preventable birth defects. And it's a winnable battle, which means that within 10 years, with the right help, with the right policies around it, we could eradicate all preventable spina bifida. So what we're doing is we're raising funds and we're raising awareness, because a lot of women are not aware that you can protect yourself from spina bifida by taking folic acid, which is a vitamin B, which is sold over the counter in any season.
And we know for African Americans, unfortunately, part of the issue was also that prenatal care.
Absolutely.
As a huge issue. Tatyana.
Well, my causes are education. Education has had a huge impact on my life, on my family's life, and I think it's a great equalizer. So I work with the United Negro College Fund, Millennium Momentum Foundation. I get calls to speak to students all over the place all the time, and I do that because I love it, and I want to support them and help make school, even higher education, more affordable. But I wanted to, what you talked about with Paul Robeson and activism, him being an activist before he was an artist, I think a lot of times, especially in politics or any kind of social issues, when celebrities speak out about it, there's sometimes a backlash, like should celebrities be giving their point of view, and should whatever. And I think what people don't understand is most of the time why we become actors or why we become singers and artists is because we care.
Yeah, but also
we are activists in our work. That's what we do.
But you also don't give up your voice just because you're on television, the big screen, or you sing. I mean, that to me is idiotic.
What it means is you have a microphone, so you can actually talk louder.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense.
I think it's our responsibility. I think obviously being an actor or let's say a public person comes with certain perks, but it also comes with the responsibility. And I think a lot of us have shied away from that responsibility in the past. And I think it's time for us to realize that we do represent people like Paul Robeson and Harry Belafonte, because we're standing on their shoulders. So that we do have a responsibility to represent them the right way. And whether people want to call it giving back or paying forward, I call it social consciousness. I think everybody has to develop a social consciousness, whether that is a public person or even the media outlets. Because when you're talking about the difference between Brad Pitt and Don Cheadle, yes, there's a difference in exposure, but that difference in exposure is controlled by media outlets who could change that.
Precisely.
Now, if they develop a social consciousness and realize, okay, what Don Cheadle's doing in Rwanda is unbelievable, and we need to shed a light on that, it would change everything.
Precisely.
So it's not just us. It's the media outlets. It's us. It's the public as a whole. Everybody in their own community can develop a social consciousness, and that's very important, because together we always do better than individually. Look at the Lakers.
Absolutely.
You know? Look at the Lakers. Now Kobe's dishing. Now Kobe's setting up other players, and they're winning.
Absolutely.
If he scores 60 points, they're not winning.
I know my producer's about to get mad. It's okay, Jay. Get over it. Elise Neal, final 20 seconds.
Final 20 seconds. You know, everybody donate to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They're the greatest charity in the world.
All right, well, appreciate it. Thanks a bunch for all the work that you do, and we're surely glad to give you a platform to talk about it. Elise Neal, Boris Kodjoe, Tatyana Ali, thanks a bunch.
Thank you.